Despite how the Electronic Entertainment Expo has been diminishing in relevance each year, I still get excited for the press conferences and always make it into a huge event. I also like to make it a tradition that before each E3, I speculate what will be shown or announced at each of the big press conferences. The format I'm going for this year's video will be a little more streamlined though, stating my hopes for each conference before predicting what each one will actually be. I also plan to livestream my reactions to most of the conferences, but I'll talk on that later. First, we'll get Electronic Arts out of the way. I have many hopes for EA. These consisting of a public onstage apology for trying to screw over customers with Battlefront 2, KOTOR 3, a public apology for their handling of Sims 4 Pets DLC, an announcement that they will be continuing the production of Star Wars 1313, and a public flogging of Andrew Wilson. But we all know none of those are happening. I don't plan on streaming my reactions to EA's conference because they're just so predictable. Although last year's was quite entertaining in the cringe factor. Generally though, their conferences usually go EA Sports for most of it, then maybe a new Need for Speed, then some indie game they're publishing, a peek into whatever BioWare's working on, which this year would be Anthem, and then capping it off with something Star Wars or Battlefield related, which this year would be the alternate timeline World War II game Battlefield 5. Wait, what? That's not supposed to be an alternate timeline? It's supposed to be our reality? Why is there a chick with blue face paint and a hook arm? Next I'll be talking about Ubisoft, which is always an interesting one. Honestly, I know that Ubisoft is known for having absolutely outrageous and stupid press conferences, but at their core they're all pretty much the same. And all the absurd crap surrounding it is just supposed to distract from how boring and by the numbers it all is. I guess I hope for a new Rayman game and maybe a new Far Cry Blood Dragon style game would be cool, but we all know the song and dance of the Ubisoft conferences at this point. Assassin's Creed Odyssey will be shown off, along with the Far Cry 5 DLC they keep teasing. Maybe we'll get another trailer for Beyond Good and Evil, although I wouldn't count on it. And then we're gonna get a new Just Dance, and then they fill in the gaps with goofy dances and random celebrity guests. Moving on to something interesting, Nintendo. My hopes for Nintendo are simple and straightforward. Kid Icarus Uprising HD for Switch, and a new F-Zero. In the predictions part, this is where things get a little bit fun, considering we've got some rumors circulating. The first one being a, brace yourselves, Star Fox racing game. For the love of all that is good and holy, I pray that is fake, because that sounds ridiculous and could possibly be the final confirmation that F-Zero is a permanently dead franchise. However, I don't doubt the validity of this rumor, considering when it comes to Nintendo, anything's possible. I do predict, though, that the majority of Nintendo Direct will have to do with Smash Brothers, and then sprinkled throughout will maybe be a little more information about Metroid Prime 4 and that weird Pokemon Yellow remake with Pokemon Go mechanics that, despite the fact that it looks ridiculous, I'll probably end up buying anyway. Onwards to Microsoft, and oh boy do I have some rumors to talk about. In February, a person leaked the possibility of a new Perfect Dark game and Fable 4 being announced at this year's Xbox E3 conference. As a fan of Perfect Dark and Fable, this would be the absolute ideal E3. And if this rumor is legit, then along with if they were to announce MCC for PC, Microsoft will have instantly won E3 for me. Although, I predict that they'll flounder as usual, showing off a bunch of third-party titles nobody cares about, and then announce Halo 6 and its new double jump and wall running mechanics. Then maybe they'll cart out another rare property for the slaughter. My money's on Jet Force Gemini this time around. Then there's Sony, which I personally hope we see more of Final Fantasy VII and more gameplay of the Spyro Reignited trilogy, which I know is going to be multi-platform, but if it's going to be anywhere at E3, it's going to be at the PlayStation conference for obvious reasons. But from what has been implied by the higher-ups at the company, the conference won't be anything too special, mostly consisting of new footage of Spider-Man and finally showing off what the heck Death Stranding is. I also expect to see more of Oatmeal the Game, aka Days Gone, before it finally releases. Finally, there's Bethesda, which I just want more Elder Scrolls. I just want some sort of confirmation that there is something in the work. Anything at all. But it's obvious we're just gonna get more about Rage 2, which is ridiculous if that even exists, since I just made a video about how obscure that game is just a week before the trailer dropped. I also expect to see more about Fallout 76, and that to be pretty much it, since Bethesda has a streak of not having many things to show off, but having a lot to show from what they do have to show off, if that makes any sense. And that's it for my hopes and predictions for E3 2018. Tune into my live streams, and until then, stay nerdy, my friends.